Animated Parashá with Micha, Animated 2.0. Welcome to another Animated Parashá with Animated Micha. This week, Parashat Vayigash, which in Hebrew means, and he approached. In this version, you ask and I try to answer, at least I try. Shall we?
Micha, if I were Yosef's brother, I would punch him. But is that Torah appropriate?
Well, what if I tell you that something like that almost happened? Yehuda was on the verge of confronting Yosef, saying the following: I won't leave Benjamin here. I promised my father that I would bring Benjamin back, and I committed to him that I would lose the world to come if I didn't return Benjamin to his father. I won't let this happen. You see, Yosef was no longer able to contain his emotions, seeing how his brothers didn't recognize him and how he was being tough on them. At this moment, he asked everyone to leave the room and revealed himself to his brothers. Approach me, Ani Yosef. I am Yosef. Haod Avi Hai. Is my father still alive? The brothers were stunned, scared, and began to step back. Yosef reassured them, saying, Come closer, don't be afraid. Everything that happened in Egypt had a purpose. Don't feel guilty about the past. God had a greater plan for me to provide for you and our father. In Egypt, word began to spread that Yosef was not just a slave. He came from a noble family and was the son of Jacob. Everyone encouraged Yosef to bring his father to Egypt. Yosef took the initiative to make it happen. After many hugs and kisses, Yosef sent his brothers back home with chariots filled with goods and gifts from Egypt to show his father that he was alive and waiting for him in the land of Egypt. The brothers pondered how to break the news to their father. They knew it would be a shock and he might faint since he was very old. They came up with an idea. Serach, the daughter of Asher, was a musician who played the violin. The brothers asked Serach to go to their grandfather and start singing songs about Yosef being alive to ease the shock. Serach took her violin and began to play.
עוד יוסף חי, הוא מלך במצרים, יש לו שני בנים, מנשה ואפרים. עוד יוסף חי, הוא מלך במצרים, יש לו שני בנים, מנשה ואפרים.
Which translates to, Yosef is still alive. He is the king of Egypt. And he has two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. Jacob listened to the music and smiled, wondering what it meant. The other sons approached, and Naphtali, who was the most agile, said, Yes, father, Yosef is alive. The brothers showed their father the gifts, clothing, food, and even the chariot as a sign of the last lesson Jacob had studied with Yosef before receiving the news of his death. To answer your question, my dear student, we should never use our hands to seek justice. Violence or physical actions won't lead to what is right. Even when anger overtakes reason, we must restrain ourselves and prevent such moments from happening. Yosef was also wise when he realized that his brothers couldn't bear the situation any longer. We should also use good judgment when dealing with others, understanding their limits and controlling our negative energies. Another question.
Micha, is it more right for the son to go to the father rather than the father to the son, isn't it?
What a beautiful question. Indeed, it's the son's responsibility to go to the father, not the other way around. Honoring your father means going to him. However, the importance of Jacob going to the land of Egypt was God's will. It marked the inception of the Israelite people's journey to Egypt and the subsequent famous Egyptian slavery. Everything was planned by God. In any case, Yosef went to meet his father with chariots before Jacob arrived. They embraced, and Yosef cried on his father's shoulder. Our sages say that Jacob recited the Shema Israel.
Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one, as a way to thank God for Yosef being alive and for having the merit to see his son again. Before Jacob and his sons arrived in the land of Egypt, two interesting events took place. Yehuda opened a yeshiva, teaching us that Yehudi must always be close to a Jewish nucleus, a center of religion where they can draw near to God. Additionally, Levi's daughter Yocheved was born, and she would become the future mother of Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. A story that Micha will tell you in the next Chumash, God willing. Miraculously, when Jacob arrived in Egypt, the famine ceased. This was due to the great patriarch Jacob, and Egypt only experienced 2 years of famine. The Parashat is filled with various emotions including joy, sadness, and nervousness. Its message is that we should balance each emotion at the right time without going to extremes, which is known as emotional balance. Maimonides used to say, never be too much on one side or the other. Sometimes it's appropriate to be sad, but that sadness shouldn't overwhelm you. There are times when you can be angry, but it should not become a bad quality known as duchas, which can ruin a person's life. Even excessive excitement and joy should be moderated to avoid excessive exuberance. This Parashat tells us about all the different emotions and challenges our ancestors faced in their lives and how they overcame difficult moments. Share your thoughts on these teachings in the video comments. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. Remember to tell the Parasha in your home, to your family, and of course at the Shabbat table. See ya! The Animated Parashá with Micha Animated 2.0.